You've made it to phase 4, the promotion phase. You've gotten through the learning, improving, building phase. Now we're going to talk about getting this stuff in front of people in phase 4. Now, as you know, it's not enough to just do on-page keyword research, technical SEO, etc. If you really want to get explosive traffic, you need to promote your website hard. Now, naturally, if you're familiar with SEO, that means getting links to your website in mentions on relevant industry websites. Now, of course, when I take this framework and I apply it to more than just SEO, this is where you can advertise, paid search, all those other things in here as well. But in this video, we're going to focus more on the link building and influencer side of things. Link building is always the most viral part of SEO too, in terms of content and what people want to consume. But honestly, man, we're out here in almost 2020, and the more simple that you keep your link building and outreach tactics, the better you're going to be. You don't have to go crazy with a million different link types. You want to find 1, 2, 3 methods that scale and allow you to capture links consistently back to your website. Now, I botched the slide here, but basically there's 4 parts within the campaign promoting process. There's strategy analysis. So this is where we're going out and we're figuring out the types of links we want to get with, the types of sites we want to work with, be it guest posting, be it PR, be it influencers, the type of sites we want to get onto, like Leafly, any industry publications, what have you, and also an existing backlink audit. We want to take inventory of what we already have, and you can simply do that by just looking through Ahrefs and then clicking through to see what some of your competitors have as well, just to give you some context for the types of links that you want to build. The next is prospecting. We just simply have to put in a little hard work and go out and find these opportunities. There's some tools out there, but honestly, I still subscribe by the offshore VA virtual assistant method to go and manually prospect Instagram, YouTube, and just Google search operators. To me, that's always been the most effective way and will continue to be for the foreseeable future as well, despite technology. So next up is outreach, going out and pitching each one of these sites that we found with a relevant proposal for inclusion. And finally, link management. How do we make sure we're staying on track with all these initiatives and scaling this up to capture as many links as possible each month consistently? So when it comes to our cannabis case study, I want to run you through the strategy and what I found. As I said, it's really not overly complicated. All you got to do is spend 30 minutes to 2 hours just browsing the web, looking through Google, going through Instagram, YouTube, social media, finding who the influencers are, the bloggers, the media sites, and all the different submission and advertising opportunities for you. It's important to just understand the depth and the context before you start putting pen to paper. Then you want to go after the websites and the placements with the most attention. So when we can control it, we want to focus on more PR style links as opposed to just links for SEO equity. So what that means is that if you find a blog about cannabis that gets 0 visits a month, they just want to sell you a post on there, it might have some SEO impact, but it's not going to do anything else. And if you focus on getting on high traffic websites and just deconstructing and reverse engineering the process to do that, you can get on websites that are going to have much more impact on your SEO in terms of link equity, but also traffic, conversion, and branding as well. These ones we want to make the priority. So when it came to this case study, I found 3 scalable tactics. Number 1 was unlinked mentions. So that's the process of finding websites that have mentioned the brand name and just pitching them to add a link to the website if they did not already. Number 2 is media buys. So going out to websites like Leafly and the big industry websites and offering a pitch for inclusion for an advertising and translating that into a link text. And finally was influencers. So I'm going to go through all these in detail right now. So number 1 is unlinked mentions. As I said, I like to use a platform called Mention. Basically what you do is you give it a couple keywords, you give it your brand name, you give it some other keywords that you want, and it will continuously scrape the web, Twitter, Quora, and then blogs and PR as well to bring you back opportunities whenever your website was mentioned. So this works best if you're naturally getting mentioned in media coverage. So in this case study, the founder of this company she's a tremendously powerful CEO. She's very involved in the cannabis industry. She was constantly getting mentioned by a lot of online websites, but they weren't linking back because PR articles, if like the Boston Globe writes an article about you, they generally don't include a link as attribution. That's kind of their policy. But if you hit them up, they probably will, because if it's about you and you just ask for a link as attribution with a nice pitch, which I'm going to show you, it has a really high success rate. So if your website or company is getting a lot of mentions, unlinked mentions is by far probably the most scalable and best link building tactic for you out there. So as I said, mention is great. You just put in the keywords and it brings you back fresh lists of opportunity consistently. And then just send a pitch. I like to use Pitchbox, the platform, to allow me to automate this. Again, all I'm doing is just scraping the web using Mention, and then every time I get an opportunity, I send them a pitch. And this pitch says this. It says, first of all, thank you for mentioning my company in your article. I know you're busy, so I'll get straight to the point. You mentioned our company in one of your articles, but didn't link to our site as attribution. Some sites may tell you not to link, but we're working hard to grow our startup to a small business. That link goes a long way to help us out. Would you mind adding a link to our site as attribution in your article? The article I'm talking about can be found here, and then this is just pulling through the field from Pitchbox, which you can spin through automatically, which is why I love it. So again, very simple pitch. This has a very high success rate, actually. Like I said, we go ahead and we break down that. We know they're not supposed to link out, but we're offering, a play on the heartstrings here that, hey, we're a small business. It would really help us out a lot. And again, if they go out of their way to write an article about you, they're usually more than happy to give you a link for inclusion. So next up is media buys and advertisements. So as I said before, going after these PR style articles is that we can kill two birds with one stone. Not only will we get the link value from SEO, but also the PR value and traffic to our website by getting featured on the right ones. And it's really hard to just go up to the biggest websites in your industry and get featured. So I'm not necessarily saying you go after a PR campaign, but if they're a publishing website like Leafly is, like Huffington Post is, more often than not, they accept advertisements. That's how they make money. So if you can find these websites, you can pitch them to be included as an advertisement package. So what I like to do is just prospect for media or bloggers just using Google that are ranking for your target keywords. So for example, what I did here is I searched for decarboxylation, and the first article was up on Leafly, and it's an article all about what is decarboxylation and why do you need it. Then what I did is I pitched them and I asked them if they accepted native advertisements. Which a native ad is something that's not like a banner ad. It's more of a what's called a native placement, which just basically just means that the consumer might not know that it's an ad, like an advertorial or something along those lines. But basically, the goal is to get a text link and ideally a call to action that will drive traffic over time. And this worked really well. This company only charged us about $250 a month for a sponsorship fee. Basically what they did is they allowed us to insert our byline right here, which linked to our website. It drove a ton of traffic, and it allowed us to do really a couple things with one stone. Number one is rank and get number one visibility for the keyword decarboxylation. Number two is to get that link equity from SEO. And number three is the traffic that ultimately passed from this article to ours. And you can see here, this is just the pretty crude tracking mechanism that I used. Again, within the blueprint, we have a full link building tracking system that's partially automated that will help you out a lot. And we go through this in a lot more detail. But this is very crude. All it has is the status, the date, the industry, the type of link, whether it's an affiliate. We're also doing affiliate outreach, influencer, industry website, guest posts, etc. The website, the traffic, and then all the associated URLs and followers here, and the contact name. And again, simply just going through these, finding these and pitching them, finding them and pitching them. And of course, the final method is influencer outreach. So next up and finally is influencer outreach. So you hear Gary Vee talking about underpriced attention a lot. In a lot of industries, it's actually overpriced attention because like in fitness or like, a lot of these fashion influencers, they have 2 million followers and it just costs too much to get any sort of return, both on your spending and on your branding return from that as well, because influencers are not just about direct sales, they're also about driving brand equity and reach and all that fun stuff. But in the cannabis space, it's a completely different story. This is very underpriced attention because a lot of these people, like Dab and Granny here, she's got like almost 1 million followers, and all she does is take bong rips. So there's not a whole lot of brands that are reaching out to advertise with her. Now it's picking up more and more and more. However, she only charged like, I think $100 for a dedicated video post on her website. And she's also got a link to a website here. So we can, again, kill two birds with one stone. We can get that influencer reach, that branding, direct sales, and also that SEO link, which is a really, really high quality link. So what we want to do is we want to prioritize the ones with blogs who can provide links, as I just said. I mean, obviously, we still want to work with influencers for the overall health of the brand and sales, direct marketing. But really, in the scope of SEO, we want to prioritize influencers based on if they have a link to their website. So most influencers only have a YouTube or Instagram page. Only a few have blogs. We want to find the ones that have blogs just by filtering for those. Very straightforward with prospecting and project management here to make sure we're staying on top of that. And then we're going to prioritize the pitches for them from the SEO scope. But if we're doing this also, like I said, for direct marketing, we want to pitch them either way. And then all you got to do is send a sample pitch to get the link and wire up Pitchbox. So here's the template that I use. Again, this is using the Pitchbox spin fields here. This will pull through their contact name. It says, hey, my name is Ryan Stewart. I manage the marketing partnerships for Ardent. I'm reaching out because we're looking to partner with some awesome sites and social accounts like yours. We're completely open to working together however you're most comfortable, including advertisements or sponsorships on your site or social profiles, affiliate partnership, mass email marketing, promotional exchanges, you share yours, we share yours, you share us, and then some statistics here about what we have, and then expertly written guest content. So you can see here what I've done here is I've gone through and I've kind of just outlined a bunch of different ways. I'm not just being like, hey, we'll pay you to work with us. We're saying advertisements or sponsorships. You notice here I also don't mention that I'm paying for a link. We want to approach this more as if we were trying to drive direct sales, not if we were trying to drive links for SEO. That's a big mistake that SEOs always make, is that people are constantly getting bombed with pitches about like, hey, let me buy a link, and people know it's spammy. But if you get this email, this is a much different tone and has a much different intent behind it. And then down here, what I do is I link to the CEO of the company got on Vice, which was really awesome, just to add some credibility here so they know we're not full of shit. So this is a link to the YouTube video of Vice talking about the company, which is really cool. And then again here, this is just how we track more of the influencer stuff, because the statuses are different if we send a product, if we're doing product reviews, if we're doing product exchanges. We did that with a couple of companies. So like we found that a lot of other brands in the space, because we had such a niche product, were willing to partner up with us and do promotional exchanges, do different product giveaways. So we're able to hit the market at a bunch of different places, not just going after that direct costs for an influencer. And you can also see here too, this is important when you're doing influencer marketing now. It's not just about the post, it's also about the assets that you get out of it. So you want to keep in mind when you're doing this that you own the content that they create. So if we can get a dedicated post on their website or a video, that becomes a very valuable asset to the brand. It's a great remarketing video. It's a great commercial style video. It's great to share on social media. So it's not just the cost for, hey, if I put in $600, I need to get $600 back. It's, hey, for $600, I'm getting a content asset that's created by an influencer that has value in itself, because otherwise you'd have to pay a video production company. You're getting that direct marketing and sales benefit. Obviously, you're getting the branding, the reach, you're getting the link from their website. You're getting a whole lot of value out of this. So it's really, really important not to approach this $600 as a direct marketing tactic. This is about all-in holistic marketing. So that's really it. Like I said, unfortunately, this is the shortest of all the videos out here. And I did that on purpose because, again, it's really important to keep in mind that you don't want to overcomplicate link building. You want to find something that's not too time consuming, that can help you generate white hat inbound links on a regular basis, so you can just kind of set it and forget it. Because a lot of times SEOs will overthink this. Link building can get very expensive. It can get very time consuming, especially. Again, focus on a couple of tactics that can drive traffic, that can drive revenue, that can drive branding, and of course that can drive that link in SEO value and equity. So in the next video, we're going to be talking about how to go through and evaluate the data that comes back from the SEO campaign to push that forward and make this a cyclical process where we're constantly going through and making SEO an ongoing thing to be constantly growing, building, growing, and scaling. So I'll see you guys in the next video.